my God. Wendy.
We're here.
We are.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for showing up today at 3:00 on Wednesday. Tim and I are here at Pangea.
Yes, we love Pangea.
We love Pangea. As a matter of fact, Tim wasn't, but I was here for Valentine's Day. I had the most incredible salmon, and there was a pear salad, and I put pictures of it on my Facebook page, and people commented more on the pear salad than they did on me. So what did you learn from that? You learned
that Pangea's food is the bomb.
That's right. How was your week, Tim?
Oh my God, it was amazing. Last weekend, I got to perform on a stage for the first time in almost a year. It was glorious.
It was glorious, and I tuned in. I was able to catch the show on my little iPad, and the show was magnificent. It was at Lehman College, and it was called
I Love the Movies.
I Love the Movies.
A Night of Cabaret.
With Barbara Hare and
Michael Lynch and me.
All amazing, all exploded. This is what happens when you take top-notch performers, right? And for a year, think about this, ladies and gentlemen, for a year, we've had no stages to perform on. Everybody was unbelievable. And I just totally love the show. Mm-hmm. It was so great. This week, the best thing for me about, if you can find a silver lining in all of this, I get to be on podcasts all over the world, literally. And this week I was actually on the Mike Wagner show, I believe, Northern Dakota. No, he's Southern Dakota, but we talked about Northern Dakota a lot. We talked about the Dakotas where it was minus 17.
Oh, no.
There, people are like freezing. And we talked about moose. And the reason we talked about,
moose,
why am I telling you all this? Yes, I'm like into moose. I am. They've always fascinated me. They're gorgeous. And I don't know why I even said that, Tim. Shut me up now. But
oh, goodness. Yeah, but also on Valentine's Day, I went back to the Bronx and had a wonderful brunch with Hector Costa and Fabio Sardo. They really
beautiful.
It was absolute spread.
Gorgeous,
it was just absolutely
gorgeous. And this week, and you can hear it on Amazon Audio. Tim and Ike Avelli have a brand new audio podcast called Loose Lips.
And our lips are loose.
And their lips are very loose. And we all know that loose lips can sink ships. Oh, is that Freudian or what? But the coolest thing is they promote small businesses, people that have lost their jobs and had to reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
So
this week we had cocoa bombs.
Oh my gosh.
They were these round chocolate things from Sweets by Marie. And you put them in a cup and pour boiling water on them, and they melt, and they have like little chocolates and stuff inside, and it's so good.
And I went on Instagram. It's Sweets by Marie on Instagram, and I ordered it. And we want to reiterate to everybody again that New York, we have indoor dining now at 25%. We're here at Pangea. You can come here for takeout, or you can come here and have a fabulous meal. Of course, I will be back again.
Absolutely. And we love Pangea.
Without further ado, we have a fabulous guest today.
Absolutely. Well, firstly, you're watching If These Walls Could Talk with
your
host.
That's what we're on. I didn't know what show it was.
She just kind of took off.
I do that. I have no boundaries.
But you're watching If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts,
Wendy Stuart
and Tim Moss.
And it's nice to be here today. So
it is.
Our guest today.
Well, can I just read?
Yes, please.
At the beginning of his website, this is the opener on his website, is what do John Mellencamp, Sir Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, the Rolling Stones, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars, Sting, Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Bob Seger, Dave Grohl, Elton John, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, John Bon Jovi, Steve Tyler, The Smashing Pumpkins, Meatloaf, B.B. King, Rod Stewart, and John Fogerty all have in common they have worked, performed, and or toured with our very special guest, the one and only Kenny Aronoff.
Yay!
Yay!
Big welcome. Hi, Kenny.
That was a mouthful there.
That was a lot. Talk about name dropping. He is a big name dropper, but it's amazing. Your legacy is absolutely incredible, and we are thrilled to have you here with us
Welcome.
today.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean that's the tip of the iceberg. You know, it's like I didn't exactly plan that. It's just I'm a workaholic, so I go after every opportunity I can and enjoy what I do. And next thing you know, you got a big long list.
Yeah, you got a long list. I would say, Kenny, that you're an A type, right? You're definitely an A type.
A? How about 10 A's?
You're
A plus
You're
plus.
now, one of the things I found really interesting, because you're a world-renowned drummer, one of the 100 in the world, voted by Billboard. Okay,
No,
you
Rolling Stone.
yeah,
Rolling
Rolling
Stone.
Yeah,
Stone.
Rolling Stone.
Oh, Rolling Stone. That's right. Gathers no moss. Okay, but let me get back to gosh.
No Moss.
With
Tim
no
Moss.
moss on that stone, but you started out with classical music. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, actually, I started out playing rock and roll. I was 10 years old and I was playing outside in the Berkshires, where where you've
Yep.
been and stuff.
Some of
And
us.
there was nothing to watch on TV. And basically, my mom yelled at me and my brother to come inside. And we thought we were in trouble, but actually, she was pointing at the TV set and it was the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, whoa. Because on our turntable when we were growing up, my parents played. They're from New York, and they played classical music and jazz. That was the music,
Oh, you
and
did that, yeah.
and a lot of show tunes. Because Broadway, my mom was into that whole thing. So anyway, when I saw the Beatles, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" I didn't know who these guys were. I didn't know where they were from, but I knew I wanted to be doing that. That actually was the moment I realized what my purpose in life was before I even knew what those words meant. And that was
You were 10
Yeah.
years old and you actually had an epiphany, which is
yeah.
unbelievable.
Well,
So that's the first exposure.
the big thing was the epiphany was in my heart. I
Um,
mean, your brain is one thing, but your heart center will dominate anything you think.
Absolutely.
If you feel a certain way, that's the truth. Look, at words are ideas, but feelings are the truth, and the truth and feelings are your being, and in your being is where your purpose lives. It's that simple. So I didn't know any of this consciously back then, but all my decisions, and like you said, I eventually got into classical music because there was no school of rock when it was time to go to
Right.
college. So, it's like my parents said, "What do you want to study?" I went, I mean, I've been playing in rock bands all through high school
And
and grade school.
Play
Yeah.
drums, right?
Just drums, just drums. But I started, like, as you guys know, the next little town next to Stockbridge, 3 miles away, is Lenox. And
That's
Lenox
where
is,
I was every summer. What an incredible place.
oh my God.
That's in
People have,
Massachusetts. in the
Yeah, yeah,
Berkshires.
it's the Berkshires,
Okay.
and it's such an art. Kenny will tell you it's a big arts area.
total arts. I mean, right? Listen, in my little town, if you read my book, sex, drums, rock and roll. I mean, I walk out of my house. You couldn't see anybody's house. It was in the country, but Norman Mailer, the author, was right there at Eighth of Mile. At the Reinhold Niebuhr was a half mile down the road. He wrote the Serenity Prayer. At the bottom of the hill was the Berkshire Playhouse Theater. That's where I met like Frank Langella, Anne Bancroft, Richard Dreyfuss, Goldie Hawn. All the actors would come up from New York in the summer,
So
and then my best friend's dad was Bill Gibson, who wrote the Helen Keller story, Deaf, Dumb, and Blind. I'm spacing it out, but
A miracle worker.
you miracle.
Miracle Worker, and he also wrote Golden Boys on Broadway, which Arthur Penn was the director. Arthur Penn moved up to Stockbridge, and he did Bonnie and Clyde as a director, Little Big Man. I mean, and this was, and then James Taylor was living in our town. Sigmund Freud's protege lived in our town. Norman Rockwell, the illustrator.
Norman Rockwell, Alice's Restaurant.
Yeah, I used to hang at Alice. I used to go.
That you knew Alice.
Yeah, I mean, I was this little kid in 5th grade, and I wanted to hang out with these older guys. And it was when they in the 60s.
Alice.
Well, I wanted to have sex with her, but I was too young. I
Older
mean,
than you, Kenny.
I was too shy. It was maybe the only time in my life that I've been shy. I mean, older women, she's gorgeous. So, I mean, and it was just a little diner in the back, and that's where all these cool hippie
And
carpenters and musicians would hang out. And so, yeah, I mean that I could go on and on. And so anyway, back to Lenox, that's where Tanglewood was, which is where the Boston Symphony Orchestra was in the summer. And
This is amazing. Kenny will tell you every summer. Amazing.
Gorgeous. Well, eventually they have the #1 student orchestra in the country, if not the world, called Tanglewood, at Tanglewood. And I auditioned 4 years in a row. I failed 3 years, and I came back a fourth and got in. They only take 7 percussionists in the world. And I got to work with Leonard Bernstein, Aaron Copland, Arthur Fiedler, Sergio Zara. I mean, this orchestra is the most powerful, most incredible orchestra I've ever heard. It's so powerful and so loud. But you have to understand, you only accepted there if you're the baddest mofo on the planet. You have to be able to read like a motherfucker, and when a conductor tells you stops and tells you he wants you to do something, you fucking write it down, because if you don't, you wouldn't even be there if you couldn't handle it. You have to take it.
This is like something I want to talk about. Rejected 4 times, but bam, you came back again. What was it? What was in you that made you not walk the other way?
Well, a lot of emotional things. First of all, I felt I was determined. I'm driven. I was born this way, just driven. When I have a goal, I go after it, and it's like the Terminator. I don't stop until I get there. It's like a running back, and I have a phrase called "I'll never be as great." I'll never be as great as I want to be, but I'm willing to spend the rest of my life trying to be as great as I can be. That's like you're always striving to get a touchdown. You don't get a touchdown every time you get a ball, but you keep trying. You just, for your entire career as a running back, you're always trying to get in the end zone. Yeah. So anyway, I kept coming. The first audition, I sucked. So I went, all right, I'm going to come back. I'm going to get it next year. I didn't get it. I was really disappointed. Now,
but you learn from those things, like what you need to improve upon.
Well, then the teacher was Vic Firth, who ended up, he's the timpanist of the Boston Symphony Orchestra, and he ended up making the biggest drumstick company in the world. Wow. And I remember him showing me the sticks he was creating. Anyway, I started studying with him at Tanglewood.
Oh my God.
In the summer. So then I came back a third year to audition, and I was really getting good on timpani and mallets. I knew how to audition. God. Oh yeah, that's all I studied. There was nothing to do with drum set, nothing. And my 5 years of college, not one drum set lesson. It was all timpani, mallets, percussion, snare drum, reading, music history, music literature, conducting, piano. It was all classical music. I played in the jazz band, but I had to teach. There was no teachers at these schools. It was all classical. So, but the discipline at Indiana University.
Yes.
It's like being in the Navy SEALs. Yeah. This isn't like a type of school you pay to get in and then they handhold. No, my teacher.
That's not a place
they
where
didn't coddle you.
Here's a trophy for participating. Right.
No. Right. I don't listen. I don't
walk the walk, talk the talk. There, right?
I don't believe in trophies for anybody. If you want a trophy, you earn it. So it's like I get 4 attempts to get into Tanglewood. Right. They didn't give it to me. After 4 years, my Vic Firth went, okay. And I was, by the way, you guys, I was the only one that wasn't from New England Conservatory where Vic Firth taught. I was from Indiana. And everybody wants to play timpani. So the first, because it's a solo instrument, it's big, it's so powerful. And so the first week, 3 of the guys out of the 7 got the timpani parts. The second week, the other 3 guys from New England got the timpani parts. The third week, I was the next guy. I was the last guy. Bernstein. I got to play timpani with Bernstein.
Get out. They saved the best for last, Kenny. That's right. And you're too, right? Wow.
And then, so I graduate from school and I get into the Jerusalem Symphony Orchestra, which is a huge deal because my parents had invested all this money. Everybody saw me practicing. For people listening, listen, I practiced 365 days a year. Every summer, I would come home and I'd practice 8 hours a day. That's what you do to get great. Not good, but great. And it takes time. So when I got into the Jerusalem Symphony Orchestra, everyone like, oh my God, he did it, bravo. But I turned it down.
You turned it down.
Why? Why was that?
Because I was following my purpose that was in my heart, not in my head. My head, thank God, that was a pivotal moment. I didn't even know what was going on. I was looking in the mirror going, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?
Opportunity away.
Right.
Yeah. So, because I turned down certainty for complete uncertainty.
Right. Wow.
I had a paycheck. I was but the thing is, my heart was so powerful I want to rock. So I literally, my plan then was to move back to home humbly in Stockbridge. I started studying drum set now
Okay, that was my
with a
next
guy.
question. Was
Yeah,
when you get into the
Yeah, the
drum set?
drums.
'Cause
yeah, now I'm really focusing on studying drum set. So I studied in Boston with a jazz drummer, used to teach at Berkeley, studied in New York with one of the biggest session drummers ever, and I was practicing 8 hours a day. I moved back to Indiana after a year. The business model was to get in a band house, get a band, write songs, get a record deal, make a record, and go on tour and be like the Beatles.
uh-huh.
I love
Yeah,
that you call it your business model too. You were
Yeah.
what, in your 20s? How old?
yeah.
You,
Well,
yeah,
I didn't call it a business model back then.
That's what it was.
but it
Yeah.
wasn't. No, it was. What were you like in your 20s? I wasn't that focused. That's impressive. You did have
Well,
a plan.
yeah. Well, think about it. I was the guy that auditioned 4 times for Tangwood.
Right.
So even though I was this guy, and also when I was in high school, I was a rock jock. I was on 3 varsity sports.
A rock
By the
jock.
Yeah, by the time I was in a sophomore in high school, one of the biggest, baddest ass lacrosse players on Western Mass as an attackman. I was on the varsity soccer, and the ski team. I was a downhill racer. Everything was, full on. And so, I would literally go to school, go right after school. It'd be 3 hours of varsity sports. Come home, do homework. Then I had a barn on our property. We'd have rock and roll band practice
amazing.
set every night from 9 until 1, and wake up and start again.
Kenny, you think you were just born with all that adrenaline? You're like oozing adrenaline.
Yeah,
Well, the thing that I
absolutely.
love, the thing that I love and admire is the passion.
Yeah.
You have this
Commitment.
raw
Yeah.
passion that created
Yeah.
this tenacity and just
Well,
laser beam focus. But
that-
go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask you about the change between, like, say, from timpani or from the classical into a drum set, because that a timpani is focused on one
Yeah, that's
instrument, one drum,
those-
whereas a drum set, you've got to have your left foot going on the, I forget,
Yeah.
what is that called? The ching ching, ching
The hi-hat.
yeah, hi-hat, and then you've got your right foot on the bass pedal, and your hands are doing two completely different things with the tom tom and a bongo. And how in the fuck did you?
Okay, well, okay.
It's a lot going on, Kenny. A lot.
Well, that's my entire life. I had a 15-hour day yesterday. I always have a lot going on. So, the thing is, you're right. The timpani, it's just 2 hands. You're not using your feet. On the other hand, by the way, I did a Bartok piano concerto with orchestra, and you have 4 timpani, and I stayed in. Yeah, you have 4 timpani,
Wow.
and they're all tunable.
Right.
Let me tell you something. So at the Musical Arts Center, where you know that big opera hall Tim went to IU too. For everybody, Indiana University is the biggest school in the world. There's no facility. I had to do an opera every semester, and the opera hall is bigger than the New York Met. There's no joking around. So anyway, the piano concerto was genius. Bartok wrote this second movement where the right hand starts. It starts off where he hits a note on the piano, and then the timpani player, has to play a roll, and it's got to be the same note. So he'll go ding. He knew that the timpani are tunable, and he wanted to break the timpani, his balls. Saying, all right.
Yeah,
So
right.
he'll go da.
And
Then he go da. Then
oh my God!
you have to tune that low timpani up a half step. Then he hits the half step up, and he's basically saying, "Are you in tune?" Then he starts his right hand. This rhythmic thing. The snare drummer is duplicating it. Then his left hand goes boom ba do do da boom ba do da. I'm mimicking every single rhythm and pitch on the timpani. I had to sit down and practice I mean, 6, 8 hours a day for like 2 weeks. And I had to learn how to tune and move my feet while I'm reading. Boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, 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 bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, boom,
The coordination needed for that.
Well, that would almost be, almost need almost perfect pitch or something for that.
No, what I did was on the timpani back then, they had when you put the pedal down, it stretches the head down, or when you put the pedal back, it puts up. But they had a marker on each drum, so you could kind of see where you were going. And I literally would practice like boom, bum, nope, boom, bum, nope, boom, bum. Oh, I got that. Boom, bum, bum. Okay, got that. Boom, bum, boom, bum. One note by note, and then I put the record on and play along with it, and it was insane. But that kind of discipline, then I took all that and put it into drum set. And so then now back then I was freaking out like, oh my God, I'd spent 5 years doing classical music. Now I'm trying to get serious in the drum set, but now I got to catch up to all my heroes.
The heroes already playing.
I felt so overwhelmed. But my point is, just like the running back, I just kept pounding and pounding and pounding, and the passion in my heart was what was driving me to keep going. Because see, the passion drives all of us. If you can't help but be what you are and who you want to be, and that's what helped me deal with adversity. That's what helped me deal with the ups and downs. It's easy to be excited about something and work hard when you're digging it, but if you got to be able to work hard when things are not going exactly the way you want.
Like one of the things I read about you had been in a rock band when you were in your 20s that broke up, and it opened up a door for your next move.
Well, that's exactly right. So back to Bloomington, I go back there. My business model was to get a record deal. We didn't get a record deal. So now I'm 27, and I'm like,
no record deal.
Yeah, and here I'm like, now what the fuck am I going to do? So I was going to move to New York City. And so about a week before, I'm having lunch with this singer-songwriter who says, hey, this guy? Did you know this guy? He's on this new network called MTV. I'm like, wow. Yeah, he's on the radio. Yeah, I've heard of him. He's making records. Well, he just came off tour opening up for Kiss, and he fired his drummer last night. And I went,
oh, shit.
All of a sudden I went, boo, 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 boo. I'm like, oh my God, they make records, they tour, they're on the radio, they're on TV. That's what I wanted, the Beatles. It's the Beatles. So I call him up. Long story short, I prepare for the audition. I'm really, here, watch this.
Yep.
I'm famous for,
right?
I'm famous for this. This is what I got from Indiana University.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Wait! Look at all. What am I looking at there?
That's a drum part for a session I just did. But I can write that in about 1 hour, and then I can go in and sight read it. That's why I've got thousands. That's why I'm able to do so much, because I can multitask. I can be
You put the work in. You put the work. You developed your craft.
Right.
So this is where the worlds of rock and roll and the classical world finally came together. So like when I do Kennedy Center honors and we're honoring Sting, and I'm playing with Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars, and on, and Bruce Springsteen, and all these people one after another, I write every note out, and then when they come in, they make changes. I readjust what I did, and then the musical director says that. Then we do a camera block, and I make changes, and I get the script of the show. When do I count off? Who do I count off to? What's the tempo? I have everything worked out. And at night I go back to my hotel and rewrite those charts. So when the show goes on, and they've got a 16 camera shoot, and the president of the United States is there, and it's live, I don't mess up. I don't make
Well, two things. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is, in my job is obviously to keep time and make things feel good and control the band and count off songs. But a bigger part is I'm a problem solver, because shit is going to go wrong.
Yeah,
it's going to go wrong. We will attest to that. If it can, it will.
Well, yeah, it's so don't worry. You do your best. You have to have that brain to, I got to make this perfect. But if it doesn't go perfect, the next thing that kicks in is forget about what just happened. How do we keep this thing trajectory on and keep it on track?
Yep, absolutely. Because one of the things with the percussion is the driver. The percussion is what drives all the music.
Absolutely.
The time and the pace,
right,
and the entire orchestra.
Yeah, so you're responsible. The responsibility.
Right.
You are responsible for the entire orchestra. So you had to learn to play at one point with your left hand. Your right.
Yeah, oh, you did your homework. Yeah. Well, okay. So this.
You know what? Like this is a perfect thing for me. I am insatiable, curious person. So is Tim. We love talking to people, and I read this stuff because you know what, Kenny? I take it in, and I'm like. You want to give up, girl, on something? Listen to some of these people. You had to like freaking learn the drums with your. I mean,
wow.
How do you do this in your brain, Kenny? That's what I want to know.
Okay, so that band that I auditioned for and got was the John.
That was the other thing I wanted to mention.
That was John Cougar Mellencamp, and I went to LA, and after 5 weeks, and after 2 days of recording, I get fired.
Oh,
which was devastating.
Devastating.
Well, because at that point I had realized my purpose. I told everybody, I've done it. I've made it. And so an incredible life-changing moment. Now, at the time, it was devastating. I felt like a complete loser. I was angry. I was ashamed. I was bummed out. I was emotionally sad. I mean, every part, I was a child, like, So I didn't know. I'm looking back now and connecting the dots. And it was, so what it was the producer. The purpose of a drummer is one thing when you're making records. One thing. It's only one thing. It's get the fucking record on the radio to be number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So any drum part I come up with, it's not about me. It's about what can I do for the song? What can I do for that artist to get his song on the radio? And it goes deeper than that. I talk about this thing called co-elevation. Co-elevation is if you guys are in my band, I really, really care about you doing a great job. Right. I want you to do a great job. And I want you to care about me doing a great job. Mm-hmm. And if we care about each other and we're working together, that creates an epic team that does epic work. So it's not enough for me to play a great drum part. I need the bass player and the guitar player and the singer and the keyboard player to do a great job, because if I'm great and they suck, that doesn't mean the record will make it on the radio.
Right, exactly right. Everybody's got to make it work.
So I serve the song, the artist, the band, the musicians, the engineer, the producer. Definitely the person who hired me, I serve them. Yes, sir. And the point is that this is what I didn't know.
Right.
When I got in the Mellencamp, but think about it. When you're young,
you don't know that when you're young.
You don't know that you're young. It's all about you.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
8 hours a day. Oh, how do I sound? How do I look? Now, I didn't know any of this shit. So when John told me to go home, I went, no.
Wow.
Everybody, right, exactly. Everybody's like, I mean, John, if anybody knows John, you say no to him, I'll say, hey, fucker, Pam. So I start scrambling, and I go, am I the drummer in your band or what? And he goes, yeah, but you're not playing on the record. I said, well, I'm going to go in the studio. I'm going to watch these other fuckers play my beats on your record, and I'll get better, and I'll learn from them, and you'll benefit from that because I'm your drummer, right? Silence. I'm like, shit. So I go, okay. I go, all right, you don't have to pay me. I'll sleep on the couch. And he went,
wow. Yeah.
So long story short, I stay there. I learn. I take notes. I spent 4 weeks there. I felt like a complete loser. I go home and completely came up with a new business model. That's where I went, it's not about me. How can I learn to play drums that's going to serve this guy's music that gets on the radio? So I started listening to like simpler drummers like Charlie Watts from the Stones, Doug Clifford from Creedence Clearwater. Ironically, I played with John for 27 years.
Wow.
John Fogerty. AC/DC, Phil Rudd, real simple. That's when I started to practice left-handed, because left-handed, I'm not as good left-handed as right. So it dumbed my playing down. It simplified my playing. and I couldn't play as technical, and I had to kind of relearn how to play the drums. And it was 2 years later, I made a vow, I will be on the next record. Well, that was
Amazing.
2 years later. Hardest record I've ever made. John was going through a divorce. John, I didn't know it, but he was about to get dropped by his label. This record had to be great. And the third thing was, I saw him almost die in front of me. He went by us late at night on one of those Indiana country roads, with the corn on, and it was the sun had gone down, and he goes by on a motorcycle with no helmet. And we're all going into Bloomington. And he's out at Lake Monroe. We were out at Lake Monroe.
Yeah.
He goes by, and a dog jumps out. We didn't see it because it was dark. All I saw was sparks.
Oh,
and then
God.
And then a big explosion.
Oh, my God.
And he survived it.
So we slam on our brakes, and we put on our brights, and we go, holy shit, John's dead. And all of a sudden, you see him hobbling across the road, hobbling this way. He had jumped on the bike while it was spinning and pushed off just before it hit the tree.
Shit. Oh, my God.
Yeah, so...
Okay, listen to this story. It's all about adversity, and it's all about... No wonder you're a motivational speaker. It's about rising up, right? But he rose up. Everybody rose up. It's all about rising up.
Yeah.
That was what I was going to say, was these stories, everything is so inspiring, and the way you're telling it, you should be a motivational speaker. You are.
Oh my gosh, we have a clip. We have to play. We have a great clip.
I was just going to say, because when you're talking about learning the left hand and this and all that, everybody just sit down and watch this clip.
Oh, wow.
The incredible Kenny Aronoff. We've got a video that we
wow.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Let's see. Do I have my clothes on? No.
I looked for one with your clothes off, but...
Oh my God.
That was insane. That was absolutely, you know what? It takes everything that you talked about And it's all there on those drums. Every level, every passion, anything adverse you ever went through, and boom, it just comes out. That was amazing.
That was an entire song
It was.
all its own. That was right there.
That was like it's so incredible. Kenny, we have so many nice comments from people.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Firstly, on the chat room, Dean Yolanis, he says Kenny is awesome, great musician, and great guy. Now, also Dave Cooley says this interview was a blast. But Dave had also sent me. He's from Indiana. He's a buddy of mine from Indiana.
Oh, cool.
And I had said that we were going to be interviewing you, and he goes, "No way! I love that guy. He's such a Bloomington institution.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
wow.
a world's colliding moment." I hope you guys talk about both being Hoosiers. I'm a flip if I tune in and find out Wendy is from Fort Wayne, which she's not. She's from the Bronx. But
Yeah, no kidding. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what the Bronx alphabet is, right? The New York alphabet. Do you know, Wendy?
Yeah,
Tell us
I want to
the
hear it
New
from
York.
you, Kenny.
Okay, the New York alphabet's fucking A, fucking B, fucking C, fucking D. Yeah.
You got that right.
Now, also, my good friend from Indiana, I was in several groups with him.
Yeah.
Mike Good from Auburn. He says Kenny is an Indiana man and one of the greatest rock drummers there is.
Wow.
So he's quite a drummer. He's
Wow.
Shout out earlier from Lori K. Watsman. She
Yeah, I
knows
got that
you from.
here.
Oh, you got that too. Okay,
Uh-huh.
great. She wanted to give it a hi-de-ho to you as well.
She wanted to give
Awesome.
high five, a Hoosier high five.
Show me what a Hoosier high five is. Is that it?
I don't know.
For me. Yes, I don't know either.
I'm from the Bronx. I don't know what.
And she said that she had met you after Carly Simon Hall & Oates concert years ago.
Oh my God, that was a while ago.
Yeah, but
Hey,
how close,
part of my secret is that keeps me good energy. Is I have a coffee called
Yeah.
Kabam.
Coffee. Let's talk about
Kabam.
coffee. I'm a coffee person. What is that called? Kabam. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's distributed by Rock D. I can't even read what's it say back there.
Where did the coffee beans come from? Where are they from?
They make it up there in Seattle, I think, or somewhere up there.
So it's rare.
So it's Rock D Coffee.
Company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock D
Anyway, it's Italian espresso.
Ooh.
They sent me this stuff, and I go, "Oh yeah, right." Everybody sends me coffee. Says, "We want to have your own coffee," and they sent me a whole bunch of blends. I went, "Whoa, what's this?" And I loved it. And so yeah, I got. Don't you love? I love the black bag. It's
Yeah, that's
Yours. It's fierce looking. Kenny, if Tim and I drink it, will we be able to play the drums like you?
there you go.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like Beavis.
You'll be able to do. You'll be able to do like 20 shows in a half hour. It's gonna be like.
You like totally wired.
Well, now
wired for sound.
Now, again, your discography is mind blowing, and we see all the behind you, all of
those
the gold records, and
I have 1,300 of these. I'm on 300 million records sold.
oh my,
300 because I was on 2 Celine Dion records that sold 40 million.
oh my God,
Meatloaf, Bad Out of Hell,
Yeah.
2 with I'll Do Anything for Love, but I won't do that. That's over 40 million. Ricky
God.
Martin's record I played on Shake Your Bon Bon.
Yeah,
I didn't play on Living La Vida Loca. But I'm on that album.
right.
I'm trying to think of the big ones. Of course, Blaze of Glory, Bon Jovi, some of the Mellencamp records. Oh God, what are some of the big ones? Patti Smythe, That Thing You Do.
No.
I'm looking at Melissa Etheridge. Oh, Belinda Carlisle, Heaven on Earth.
Right,
Bob Seger. Oh my God, there's so many.
Garth Brooks and Joe Cocker and Avril Lavigne and
everybody.
Yeah, that was a big record. Avril Lavigne's. My Happy Ending. I did that the last minute. I mean. It's ridiculous. But then, I did like Highwaymen. Like, the thing that's bizarre about me, and that's where that Indiana training helped, is that it's one thing if you make it as a touring drummer. It's another thing if you make it as a session drummer. But to do both, rare. It's rare. But then, the same guy that played with Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, Waylon Jennings, doesn't usually end up playing with Ray Charles, B.B. King, Buddy Guy. Also, doesn't go on tour with the number one biggest alternative band in the world at the time, the Smashing Pumpkins. The
Right?
same drummer doesn't do that.
So Kenny,
That's what I mean.
but what's the secret? Gets along well with others? What do I mean, tell me, what is the secret? You're right. It's like boom, boom,
Well,
boom.
yeah, I mean, I think you touched on a really heavy thing, which I talk about in my inspirational speeches. You know, there's another ingredient than just your playing, because there's a lot of great musicians out
Right.
there. But I talk about this thing called the 3 C's. The 3 C's are: I know how to connect with people, I know how to communicate with people,
Uh-huh.
and if you can connect and communicate, you can collaborate. Let me give you an example.
Nice.
So, like on a Monday, this is a true schedule I had in the 90s. On Monday, it was B.B. King, Bonnie Raitt doing a song for Air America. On Tuesday and Wednesday, Elton John, 4 songs for his box set. On Thursday through Sunday, it was Bob Seger making his record. Then I flew to Atlanta and then drove down to Athens, did the Indigo Girls for a week. First time they ever had a drummer. Everything was acoustic. Then I flew back to LA and landed, went right to the studio, recorded with Willie Nelson, another 4 days with Bob Seger, and 2 weeks with Bon Jovi. Now, every single, think about it, every single artist or band is like another corporation.
Absolutely.
Different everything. So when I walk in, let's pick like Elton John. I mean, Elton John, I've never met him. He's made 1 billion records. I have to walk in and immediately go right up to him. Dude, man, it's so nice to meet you. I mean, I've been such a fan, blah, blah, blah. We start talking. He knows who I am because I wouldn't be there if he didn't.
Right.
So we're talking, we're getting along. Now when we play music, we're laughing. And so here's the other thing. The producer who hires me, Don Was, said it in my book. I hire Kenny because he saves my sessions and he motivates the room. I mean, if you're going to be a producer, you want to have the guys that are going to make you look good.
Absolutely.
And so the reason why he said that, he was just started getting into producing. I was doing an Iggy Pop record with him. And I was outside the room at one point. We were having dinner, I think. I was probably up front flirting with the reception lady. That was typical of me. And so I'm late getting back into the session. I go back in the session and I'm like, hey, let's go, man. I'm pumped. Let's rock. Come on. What's next? Let's go. Woo! And apparently Iggy was down. He was bummed out about something. And the whole room got flat because he's the artist.
Right.
And Don said, because he was early in his producing career, he said to me, I didn't know what to say to him, but you came in, completely motivated the room, got everybody out there. And when you started recording, you were so intense, and everybody playing with you was not. They had to overdub my track. My take on that recording was so badass. He said they had to overdub everybody for the first 90 seconds to catch up to me. But that's when I realized, wow, I have to be a good caster. I have to get the right personalities in a room because he saw it. So anyway, that's nothing I learned. I was just born that way, because I'm really upbeat and positive. But there's no question that that people will pick somebody to be on their team because they're great team players. They know how to motivate the team. Why do you think in the NFL, I mean, they pick players that will fit into their whole concept, and will they get along with the team? Will they get along with the quarterback? They need everybody to be a team oriented, in sync, one machine.
But do you realize how rare it is to be a personality that can walk into any of those artists?
Yeah, I do now. I didn't think,
and not only communicate and collaborate, but penetrate the style that they are looking for and emulate it, like to produce and create the sound that they're looking for that song. That is amazing.
Well, I'm in the service business. I serve.
That's exactly right. Great. That's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly.
I mean, at the same time, I've got integrity, and I have something to offer. I've learned how to deal with people, when to talk, when not to talk. There's all kinds of different situations that you can't even we could spend a whole day talking about it, but just
I
in
would
general, some of I have to say some of it was because my upbringing. I grew up in a family where we communicated feelings, and everybody could be heard. I had a very strong father, very strong mom, but were very kind of liberal and open, and but also growing up in Stockbridge, I was so used to meeting some of the most brilliant people in the world. I was used to hanging out. I remember being with Mellencamp, and he wasn't as comfortable meeting the people like that, and I was, and he'd look at me like he didn't even understand that where I grew up, and didn't understand that I was comfortable meeting the president of the United States or meeting, a famous actor. I was used to that, but he looked at it like I was just trying to suck up to them. I was trying to be friendly with them, but it was normal. It was a normal environment. So I want to say some of my upbringing helped me with that.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm curious, Kenny, how many siblings do you have?
I have an identical twin brother.
Oh my God!
So this is great conversation here. I'm curious if your twin brother is similar in that. That is a real gift that you have.
He is.
Have a comfort zone to be. You were inspired by Ringo Starr and Ed Sullivan, and then 40 some odd years later, you're playing with him on a stage.
50.
It's normal. God. It's normal. Are you similar, you and your twin brother, or different? I'm curious.
Well, he's a doctor. He's a shrink, so he's a little bit more. He's more fucked up than me. No, just joking. I say that because it sounds funny.
Focus, fucked up. No matter what you want to say, it's like such precise focus that the both of you have.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were both on the varsity sports together. We were driven, and we were competitive with each other.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's friendly and social like I am. He's just a little bit more like a doctor. He's a little bit more. I'm a little bit more Rocky. He's a little bit more Doc. He's Doc. I'm Rock.
Yeah. He'll jump off the diving board into the pool. You'll jump off the roof into the pool.
Exactly. Because you rock and roll and he's dock and roll.
Yeah.
That was bad. I'm sorry.
Fucking A.
Fucking B. Fucking C.
Fucking D.
Honorary Bronx member, Tim Moss.
Learn your alphabet, kids. Learn your alphabet.
Oh my God! We have got to have you on the show again.
What a great day!
Way too much more information that we need to talk about.
Yeah. We haven't gotten into. Remember, the title of my book is "Sex, Drums, Rock and Roll."
I want to put it up there on the screen.
Do you have the
copy
book near you?
I do. I'll cross right over there, but I don't have. I have to walk over there to get it.
Well, you go walk. Yeah. I'll give them your.
I'll be right there. Here we go.
Okay.
Cool.
You can find out everything about Kenny Aronoff at KennyAronoff.com, which is ARONOFF. Go to his website and you can find out.
There we go. There it is on the screen. Bigger than like KennyAronoff.com. And there's the book.
Look at that.
That is good.
That's
gorgeous.
Drums, rock and roll.
First of all, the cover is fierce, but you know what's so cool? It coordinates with the packaging on the coffee.
Yes, exactly. I took this picture.
No, do this for me. Hold up the coffee. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, let's do that.
Go. Yes.
Kenny, put your head over the top. I want to see what that looks like. Yeah, that's it. That's the picture.
Now,
I took this picture. That's kind of my brand. Is part of the brand of. I love that picture. My photographer, Robert Downs, RobertDownsPhotography.com. He just I'll show you a picture. He comes by my studio every so often, and I'll show you a picture because you'll dig the studio. So he took a picture of my studio. Oh, here it goes. I don't know if you can see this, but there's me. I've turned like I told you, I turned my studio into a place where I could do corporate speaking.
Oh,
can you see that at all?
Yeah.
I can see
that's
it.
Amazing.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that cool? And
that's very cool.
He was sitting from where the drums were. Yeah, but anyway, he took that picture. So I use that as my main picture a lot.
That's hot. That's hot. Just one last question. Sunglasses. You always got your sunglasses on. Is that just that rock and roll feel?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's funny you said that because someone just sent me a picture when I didn't have sunglasses.
And you didn't recognize
This is
yourself.
about 20 years ago. So get ready.
Oh.
No glasses. I was wearing a suit. Anyway, the glasses started. I was walking on stage, 1998, first concert with the Smashing Pumpkins. I had a black T-shirt like this with a yellow stripe down the side, on both sides. And my son Nick said, "Dad, I think these will look good on you." And he had the yellow goggly glasses, the big black rims. I put it on. And the next day in the paper, they mentioned, oh, yeah, Mellencamp's drummer playing with the Pumpkins. And all they thought is they talked about the glasses. The glasses. So I went, I'm wearing glasses. Then I shaved my head. And it was like, bam, all of a sudden, it's kind of like I was almost, felt like a chick magnet a little bit. You know?
So speaking of chicks, a lot of us chicks like to work out. You have a workout video.
No, I don't. I just work out.
And let's see your upper body there again. Oh my God. Yeah. From the drums, right?
Yeah.
No, I have a gym in my house. I lift weights. I lift weights.
You gotta have a lot of upper body.
Of course, yeah, but I lift weights. I lift weights.
We learned all your secrets today.
This is me feeling out of shape. I mean, I'm just a little bit. I haven't been lifting. I mean, I lift every day, but I haven't pushed it hard. So I'm maintaining. But you know the thing, I have 8 steps to a healthy life. It's 8 steps, and the first one is lifting weights, which it makes you strong, but it keeps your hormone levels up, which keeps your immune system up. Cardio, only way to
and you're 100% right. I do all of this.
So cardio is the only way to exercise the heart, keeps your hormone levels up, keeps your immune system up. Number 3, stretching, flexibility. You have endurance, strength, and flexibility. 4, diet. Eat healthy. 5, vitamins, supplements. I take
everything I do.
A lot of supplements too, because like yesterday I worked 15 hours a day. So
you
gotta keep. And then and number 6 is water. Every organ in your body needs water. You should drink half your body weight in ounces. I should drink more, but anyway, water is essential. You can live 40 days.
Glasses, right? 6 to 8 glasses a day of water.
Whatever half your body weight in ounces. But that's a good rule of thumb, 6 to 8. And then the next one is stress is one of the worst things for your health. So, meditation or something that will chill you. Just do this even for 3 minutes, like this, like that. Whenever it is, if you're stressed, stop doing what you're doing, and just rub your face or just do this, something that distracts you, or put on meditative music. Anyway, stress is incredible. To get rid of stress is very more. And finally, number 8, which I'm really not great at, is sleep. You should sleep. 7 hours is a good benchmark. I sleep 3 hours, wake up, go back, wake up.
I knew you were an interrupted sleeper from the minute I met you. You left out one thing: sex.
Well, that's kind of like the umbrella that goes over everything.
That's understood.
I mean, sex before exercise, sex before diet, sex before playing the drums, sex
before drinking your water.
Basically,
or before.
No, basically, whenever you want sex, do it.
Yeah, I like that.
Which back in the day, I had a little sticker that basically was open 24 hours a day. It was like, we're open for business 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Whenever, I'm available, which is not exactly great when you're married, Bad behavior. Bad behavior.
Go over too bad.
I apologize for all my.
You have to apologize.
I
love it. We're delighted to have you here today,
Kenny. Thank you
so much.
Oh my God.
Thank you to our audience who tuned in. Thank you to everybody who's in our chat room who commented today. We love having you, and we love hearing your comments.
So yes, Kenny.
I'll leave you with one line, one statement, and I just told a very heavy 7 times bestseller, a New York Times bestselling guy on this, and he said to me, "Wow, man, I've had some failures and I've had some mistakes." And I went, "No, you haven't. There are no mistakes. There are no failures.
Yep.
Those are just experiences that have brought you to where you are now and are
Yes.
helping you get where you're going. If you
Absolutely.
say the word mistake and you say failure, it brings you down.
It's a
They're just
learning experience.
experiences to bring you up.
A learning experience.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, Kenny Aronoff, we've got to have you back on the show again.
Okay.
This was so amazing. I really, really
Yeah.
appreciate your taking some time and coming on these walls.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you
All
again.
right.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Learn your alphabet. See ya.
Yes. Thank you, Kenny.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Thank you.